Man, how do you even start an introduction video? Introductions to your life, where do you even begin? Growing up, I was a very curious child. I was interested in knowing how things worked, and not really just how, but why did they work. As such, I was drawn to chemistry in the natural sciences. I focused more on math and science growing up, and I received my PhD in chemistry back in 2014. But pursuing a degree in chemistry just pursuing a PhD period is just very draining. Physically, mentally, emotionally. And I frankly just wanted to get away from the academic system. And luckily enough, I was able to get a job working in scientific research instrumentation, which suited my skill sets and my talents, and I was finally, for the first time, not in school and actually able to make some money for myself. And it was at this time that my father told me,
"Son, you have spent your life in school, scraping by on pennies, but you have learned all these amazing words like electron, spectroscopy, potentiostat, words that for some reason people pay you lots of money to say. And now that you are making some money, you should learn about investing. But not for me. Go read a book. Go read a book about the subject."
So I did. After doing some research into various books about investing and personal finance, I stumbled upon The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, two of which I instantly fell in love with. The Intelligent Investor was written back in 1949, and even though it has gone over several revised editions, the ideas behind the book are still super relevant to today. This book not only covered the details about how you pick stocks and the analysis and what kind of bonds you should be buying and how to interpret financial information, but it goes over an ideology, a philosophy, and an overall state of mind that you should have while investing. And I think I was attracted to this state of mind because it's very much like the mindset of a scientist. Graham's approach is based on logic, reasoning, and not based on emotion, speculation about how people feel. It was based on hard facts and data. And as a graduate student, I did a ton of experiments, and I've looked at lots of data. Both data that I generated, but also data that was published in the literature. And throughout all of the analysis, in all my years of graduate school, one thing that my advisors taught me really stuck out when I presented new data to them about some study I did. And at the end of every meeting I would have with my advisor, they would always ask me the same thing. What does it mean? What does it physically represent? It's not enough to say that the data is different than something else. But what can we learn about this? What is the most important thing that we can take away from it? Whatever system you're studying, what does the data tell you? Not what you think it means, but what it actually means. And from an investing standpoint, it's not just about looking at price trends and whether a stock is up or down, but why is the stock up or down? Is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? What are the fundamentals? What does the bank statement, the balance sheet of these companies look like? On the surface, The Intelligent Investor is about security analysis, looking at stocks and bonds and understanding what a PE ratio is and stuff like that. But on a deeper level, it's about a change in mentality. It's about developing a mental fortitude and a rationale, a logic about investing. It's about developing the discipline and willpower to forego easy profits that might risk a permanent loss of future capital. It's about remaining calm amidst the panic. It's about being rational in an otherwise irrational world. And it's about having the nerve to act on your beliefs. Not because other people said so, not because of what other people said in their speculation, but because you did the research and you know that this is a good investment or a bad investment, and you act upon it. And this last point struck a particular nerve and chord with me because it's very much reflective of my own graduate experience. When I first started off in graduate school, I was a first, second year graduate student, I knew nothing. And I was tasked with investigating some experiments that were done in the scientific literature, and just to see whether or not I could reproduce them. And then not only could I reproduce them, could we try some other things to extrapolate more about it? As it turns out, the system that I was studying would be a highly, highly controversial subject. If I may entertain you, I was looking at carbon dioxide reduction, the conversion of this big bad greenhouse gas that we're all trying to get rid of, and its conversion into a useful hydrocarbon fuel. Many, many research groups across the globe are trying to solve this problem. And basically, one research group had reported a new catalyst, some material that could convert carbon dioxide into methanol. Basically, it's a thermodynamically fairly simple process, but kinetically super, super hard. And everybody in the scientific field was highly skeptical of this system. Not only were the results very strange and somewhat groundbreaking, but the catalyst itself was this very simple molecule. How on earth is it possible that this simple molecule is able to do this amazing chemistry? So I set off to actually study the system. And I was able to reproduce the system. I was actually able to do a bunch of other experiments to learn more about it. But I found that my results and what they meant conflicted with what was being said in the literature. And I had doubts about my own work. See, I believed everything that was published out there in the literature. And I doubted and didn't have confidence in my own work. And I repeated my work consistently over the years. And it was only towards the end of my graduate experience that I realized that I was right, and I had let the views of other people worry me into not pushing my work forward. It wouldn't be until well after my PhD and even my postdoc before my work was actually published and accepted by the scientific community. But I still think to this day, if I had been more confident in my own work, in what I had done, I could have probably gotten that work out sooner. I probably could have helped other scientists and researchers not make the same mistakes that either I made or that other researchers were making. And researchers were making a lot of mistakes with regard to this system. So in many ways, Benjamin Graham's work is very important and resonate very strongly with me as a scientist and as an investor. But I would like to take it a little bit deeper. I think that there are many personal finance and investing principles that not only apply to the investing world and even to the scientific world, but to everyday life. And that not only should we be thinking about these things from an everyday life perspective, but these ideas about investing should resonate with what we do on a day-to-day basis. And similarly, our day-to-day activities and how we view things, our thoughts, our ideas about them, should be reflective in our investing decisions. We talk about certain investments as being risky. Well, what does that mean? Think about how you assess any kind of risk tolerance. Even something as simple as going for a drive or crossing the street has risk associated with it. You should be able to understand those ideas and think about risk in a totally different way. Or even diversification. They say you need to have a diversified portfolio. Well, how do you think about diversification? Do you focus on just one thing and that's how you make most of your money, like a full-time job? Or do you diversify the ways that you make money? Or even diversify food that you eat or the exercise that you do? How does diversification play in your life? My channel is about personal finance and investing, and not just about the day-to-day how do we spend money or how do we save money or what should we invest in with stocks and bonds. Don't worry, all those things are very important, but it's really about ideas. It's about how do we think about things. Even the thought process of being curious, about questioning our investment decisions or personal finance advice that you receive from people. Question these things. Imagine taking the Neil deGrasse Tyson approach of scientific thinking and applying it to investing. And personally, when I'm on YouTube and I'm watching videos, I constantly see these day traders trying to sell courses on how to make a six-figure income in 5 weeks, or 2 days, or 1 month. And I am tired of this disease. These get-rich-quick schemes, these fake gurus. Maybe they're real gurus, I don't know. But I'll tell you this. Every good thing that I have experienced in life has come from a slow, methodical process. This is both in my own scientific career, studying chemistry. I spent 4 years in college studying chemistry, followed by another 5 years in graduate school. I'm a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo. I've been doing it for over 15 years by training consistently over time. Even my own personal wealth, I have grown slowly and steadily over time. And they say that Rome wasn't built in a day. It also wasn't destroyed in a day. Things that take a long time to develop also take a long time to retract and recede. There is a stability to a long, slow approach, which I think is taught in The Intelligent Investor. Warren Buffett, a disciple of Benjamin Graham, made his fortune over his lifetime. And there's not a person out there who would argue that Warren Buffett isn't successful. But it took him a lot of time and patience and hard work. So one time in graduate school, we received this new instrument, and it was just on loan for like a month. We only had 1 month to kind of play with this instrument. But the graduate student who was in charge and was going to be using the instrument thought, hey, maybe I could get this thing set up, really put some time and effort in, and maybe we can get data to publish a paper. But you know what my advisor said? My advisor said, yeah, you could try that. Maybe you can get some data from it. But remember, careers in science are not based on just the experiments taken in 1 day or 1 week, but from a lifetime, from decades, from years of experimentation. Nobel Prizes are awarded to those who have dedicated their life to just one thing, just one subject, and focusing on it for such a long time. That's the only time they get credit for it. And I think if you take this approach with almost anything, money, personal finance, you will be successful. If you made it this far, I applaud you. Thank you for listening to me. I hope that you will stick around and subscribe, watch some more of my videos, like them. If you think that's helpful, if you want to share these ideas, I hope that you do. And I hope that you gain some value from these ideas. Some ideas, whatever, maybe they're not so good. But maybe there'll be an idea that will change your mind about things. And not only change your mind, but maybe even change your life. Again, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out. And I'll see you soon.